Good morning.
Hello, thanks for joining us today. We are excited. Jamie and I are going to talk to you about trends that we're watching for 2026 that could dramatically impact kind of your marketing strategies and the things that you're doing and how you're allocating resources, both time and budgets in your 2026 plan. And we like to do that every year about this time. So if you look back to last year, we had predicted and had been estimating or expecting that search was going to dramatically change in 2025. Like we were going to see a huge shift in what we were doing for search marketing at the end of 2025 was going to be different than what we were doing for search marketing at the start of 2025. And lo and behold, that happened. And so that is really impacting now as we look forward into 2026. It actually is like 3 or 4 of our trends that we're watching are related to search.
Yeah, there has been some big changes with our search, also known as SmartSearch. It really blends your PPC and SEO. Without combining them, it really makes your search ads irrelevant. What SmartSearch does is it gives brands visibility into both generative and traditional search. It shares learning across channels to reduce your costs and improve your website's performance. Basically, the SmartSearch is your future.
Mm-hmm. And because of that, that SmartSearch is kind of what we're putting together. AI is really rewriting search on both paid and organic, like how people are doing activities, how they're looking for answers, how they're finding resources, how they're shopping. And Google's MUVERA updates, their algorithm updates that they rolled out mid-2025 has really changed, followed kind of those AI trends to be less focused on keywords and phrases and more on semantics and intent, context, and more natural language. And so it really is AI generated answers or summaries. And what that's doing is it's reducing the total number of traditional click activity that we're seeing in search ranking pages. So if you go to Google or you go to Bing and you type in a query, you would see paid listings and organic listings and a map off to the side. And how that's all changing now is a lot of times we're seeing those little AI summaries, or we're getting different kind of orders and rankings based on this new algorithm update. So it's really becoming much more conversational, much more personalized. It's less about the text that's typed in and more about the intent and the context and the history that goes along with that. And so it's really like that key takeaway is it's really no longer about ranking for single keywords or even tracking rankings by single keyword, but it's really about being present when your users, your ideal audience is really looking for your products and solutions.
And it's really improved the zero-click search. That excerpt that shows up at the top of Google, fewer than 40% of searches are now leading to a website click. So you want to be able to show up in that zero-click search. AI overviews, featured snippets, and direct answers are satisfying users instantly, which is declining your website clicks. Brands need strong content structure and authority to appear in these services, which is where the SEO piece really comes into play. The key takeaway for this is visibility is really the new metric of success.
So we've talked about, those 3 trends. One is SmartSearch, really unifying and creating a unified search strategy. Number 2 is the whole algorithm changes that we're shifting away from search rankings and keyword specific to intent and conversation. And then that third one is really watching that zero click and how we can get people answers without bringing them all the way to our website. And so search is 3 of those trends that we're really watching and tracking and we think are going to have the biggest impact in 2026. The next one is omnichannel personalization. And really what omnichannel means is it's traditional media strategies. The way we used to do media strategies is we had channels and we had a plan and an execution for our search. We had a plan and an execution for our television buys. We had a plan and an execution for our print strategies. Omnichannel is really about bringing all of those pieces together and making sure we're connecting the dots And we have not only a unified strategy, and we're not just looking at individual channels, but we're connecting all of those channels together. So we really get an integrated view. We get integrated data that's telling us across all of those channels how we're impacting our client's journey. And we now have the technology, the capabilities to start taking some of that data and really creating personalized experiences for our clients. And whether it's through messaging, whether it's through storytelling, whether it's through timeliness and delivery of messages and where those messages are delivered, we really need to look at in 2026, like bringing all of these pieces together to provide a better customer experience.
Which brings us to streaming and CTV that we're also watching. Over half of the US households no longer have traditional cable. CTV reaches cord cutters more effectively, and especially when you're talking live events. They provide strong measurement tools. We can now tie CTV to actual actions like website visits and website traffic conversions. The TV quality impact with digital targeting and accountability is really a key takeaway here.
Awesome. And lastly, the last trend that we're really tracking for 2026 is really social platforms are really starting to become search engines. When we think about search marketing in general, kind of bringing it back full circle, search engines are not just the Google search platform or the Microsoft Bing search platform. It really is across all areas that people are looking for information. And we know like TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn are really becoming top discovery sites and research platforms. That's where people are going first to find recommendations, to find information, to do shopping, to uncover new brands and to find best practices, not just in checking reviews and information, but what are other people saying around it. And so audiences really are trusting that authentic content that's really produced like on the fly over really polished ads. They have a lot of hesitancy and leeriness of super polished messages. We're finding short form video is really continuing to dominate in engagement. People are not watching longer form videos unless it's super intentional, super engaging, and it's a product that needs additional time to digest and understand. And so really that key takeaway there is brands really need to create a video first, people first content strategy that meets the audiences wherever they are searching. And I mean, to recap across all of this, I think the number one thing is understand your audience, understand what they're looking for, the questions they have, and meet them in a very personal, conversational, almost a one-on-one tone.
Yeah. And just be intentional.
So if you have any questions for us, you can sure pop them in the chat. We would love to have additional conversations on this. I know there are other things that are happening out there in the world of marketing. These are the ones that we've kind of identified as some of the top trends that we're really tracking and leaning into, and not just watching, but experimenting with and testing and looking to build out for our clients as we get into 2026. We would love to take you along on that journey, and I'm sure we will continue to share content. But if you have any questions for your own brand, for your own strategy, for your own plan, and how this might impact it, and how you can maybe start to integrate some of these pieces and test them, trends KPIs that you should track to know, is it working or is it not working for you? Jamie and I would both be happy to have those conversations with you at any time.
We love going into depth about this stuff.
I know we could talk about it all day long. Like, I feel like we're trying to keep this in 10 minutes, and I'm like, I don't know how successful we're going to be at keeping this in 10 minutes. But we'd love to continue to have a conversation or grab a cup of coffee across the table, whatever that looks like. So if you have any questions on it, if you would like some additional information, we do have a lot of blogs that talk about these topics that we'd be happy to provide links to, or again, just pick up the phone or grab a cup of coffee. I'm not seeing anything in the chat pop in, no questions. So with that, have a fantastic day. Stay warm out there.